What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with another Batter Birds podcast. Week, what is it now? I'm losing track. I think we're at week 13, I believe. It's hard to keep track of these weeks when they're all resulting in losses. It's just they all get close together. So we at week 13. We got the Eagles versus the Packers. I go by Philly Mike. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my guys.
Go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? Steve, Gate City Sports Channel. Now, what else to say?
Hey, man, I'm gonna bring that energy. Yo, that man. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's your boy Philly Fresh, aka the General, aka a fourth for the Better Bird podcast. These two guys are one, and also all of you commenting, all of you that subscribe, appreciate all of y'all. Listen, I understand why my two guys is down. I'm still going to give y'all this energy. I'm still going to think that the Eagles are going to win every single week. Call me delusional. I don't know. But, Mike, take us where we going, man. What we need to talk about, man, because we got some things to talk about. Let's go.
Yeah, so the Eagles find themselves in a weird predicament. We find ourselves closing into the top five of the top five picks in the draft, and we also still find ourselves one game out of first place. Let me ask you guys, what is more likely, us getting a top five pick or us winning the division this year?
I think it's equal. I think equally possible.
I would have to agree. Like when you look at it, man, who knows what's going to happen week in and week out? You know what I mean? For the last what? We on a 3-game losing streak. For the last 3 weeks, man, it's just been loss after loss after loss. So when you look at it, who knows? But we got to understand that what we playing in. You know, thank goodness for the NFC lease. Like, because if it wasn't, we would have been talking about just sit down Carson or bench everybody or whatever the case may be, and let's just go get this top 5 pick. But we're not. And when you look at it, man, who knows what's going to happen to the rest of the FC East? What if we win and everybody else loses? So then we right back at it. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, man, who knows, man? Would I want to go to the playoffs? You're damn skippy. But when you look at it, man, top 5 pick, okay. But Howie is the GM. Who knows what happens? So not too confident about the pick. I want my young core to have some playoff experience, and I'm never the losing type, and I'm never the tanking type, other than the Sixers, you know, and I really wasn't feeling that, but that's a different story. But when you look at it, man, to me, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I think we have the pieces to win the NFC East. I think we do. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to talk about wide receivers not getting separation. It's true, but at the same time, man, the one guy that wasn't getting, the one guy that we was talking about, top 5 in this top 5 in that, right? Is Travis Fulgham. He wasn't getting separation, but Carson Wentz was still throwing the football up to him, and you know it was best men come down with it, and Travis Fulgham was winning a lot of them snaps. But then here comes Alshon Jeffrey once again. You know what I mean? And then the guy the really only guy that was getting separation, you took him off the field. That was Hightower. You know what I mean? I understand Hightower he dropped some touchdowns. I understand that you know, we wasn't feeling him. But before they yanked him, the last 3 games, I think he had like 3 games in a row, 50-yard receptions. So this is the only guy that's getting separation. You take him off the field for a guy that doesn't seem like he wants to play, or it doesn't seem like he wants to play for Carson. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because when you look at it, man, I don't like his energy, I don't like his attitude, and I don't like the fact that him and Fulgham are sharing snaps. You know what I mean? Like if you got a hot hand, you go with your hot hand. That's what I was always taught. No matter what the dude's getting paid, no matter how old he is, no matter what, if this dude is hot, you keep going with him until he's not hot anymore. Go ahead, y'all.
I agree. Real quick, shout out to BLSG with the $2 super chat. He said, "What's up, BVP and Eagle Nation? Let's get this W." And I kind of agree with what you, Fresh, and just the chat. You know what I mean? I think a top 5 pick is not an option that I'm automatically going to decide, but it's could easily be our reality. However, when the game is on Sunday and I'm sitting there watching the game, there's no way I can possibly say, yeah, let's lose this. Like, I can't physically say it. Now, if it happens and it happens, maybe it's better for our future to have a top 5 pick in each round. And I do believe we have 9 picks. So, I mean, at this point, it's going to be a win-win because right now the Eagles are playing bad football, regardless where you want to put the blame, whether it's on Carson, Doug, Howie, the O-line, wherever you feel like putting this blame. We're playing bad football. It can only get better this season, and we can only get better as a football team going forward. So, call it a rebuild, call it a retool. Who knows what's actually going to happen? But every Sunday when we match up with the Packers, the Saints, the Cardinals, especially them division games, I'm going to want to win. I'm not going to be able to sit back and say, you know what, let's lose for the betterment of this team. I just can't say that because what am I waking up on Sunday for to watch if I'm rooting for my team to lose? You know what I mean? So I can't physically say that. But, tanking might not be an option, but we might not need to tank. We might just be that bad. But go ahead, Gay. How you feel on the whole situation?
I mean, there's a lot at play. I can tell you this. If we end up with a top 5 pick, I find it very unlikely that Doug Peterson is our coach the following season. I can't see that happening. Like, I didn't like Chip. I thought firing Chip was the right call. Chip won 2 10-game seasons. Doug ain't done that except for once. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Doug, and I know Doug's not the same cancer internally that Chip was, but losing is losing. And you fall on your face like that, there's no coming back from that. So I don't think that you're going to convince Doug to tank. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the locker room believes. We've heard guys like Trey Thomas say that this is the time of year you need to pay attention to phantom injuries, because you'll start seeing some of your veterans all of a sudden be a little too injured to play. So, I mean, that would be the first indication to me that something's going on. I still think that because the division's in reach, these guys are still going to fight. I mean, look, the crappy part about it is we still pretty much hold our own destiny in our hands. Like, as bad as that is.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know how much confidence I had, just because, like, I don't think this game's going to be easy to win. It's in December in Lambeau. It's not, what I'm saying, it's not the greatest thing, but we did it last year early in the year. And to be real with you, I don't think Arizona is the same unstoppable force we saw earlier in this season, but it's still an offense that can put up a lot of points. And at this point, I don't trust our offense to even get us to 20 points. So, like, it's kind of like trying to pick where you could get these games to even win the division. That's I don't know, man. Like I said, I kind of, I'm with Reese that, and I don't go into a game wanting to lose it. I tell you guys every week, don't ask me who I'm picking to win. I'm going to pick the Eagles every time. Like, I mean, that's just, it is what it is. I'm an Eagles fan, but, I mean, being realistically, I think a top 5 pick it could be a reality that we face. Like, that could be true. But I got a question for you two. If we got a top 5 pick, is Howie Roseman making that selection?
I would hope not. Again, either Jeff Lurie takes the drafting responsibility away from him like he did when he had Chip Kelly in that sense. Again, if you want to keep Howie Roseman, because at the end of the day, Lurie and Howie Roseman are tight. You know what I mean? They both got some of the same. I mean, they're just tight. So Lurie put Howie in the doghouse before by taking some responsibilities away when it comes to personnel, drafting, scouting, all that. I mean, you would at least have to do that. Like, I understand getting rid of Howie and really just changing it up. But if you are going to keep him, you can't allow him to draft, because it's been a constant. Like, we can't sit back and say, like, the DK Metcalf thing. And again, Jalen Reagor is not looking, again, injury has played a part in that too. But you still see all these receivers flourishing. Now, is it Aaron Moorhead? Is it our team? Is it our play calling? That could be said, because I do like Jalen Reagor. Gates said he was super high on him, and I liked his skill set. He's much more than just a deep threat, which people think he is. But If you're not going to use him as much more, then he's not going to be much more. So who's to say that Justin Jefferson wouldn't be bad on this team under this coaching staff? I don't know.
Can I make a prediction? If Justin Jefferson was on this team, he'd look like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Oh, wow.
That's the truth.
Wow.
That's the truth.
I
That's
mean,
the truth, because we don't know how to put guys in the right position to succeed. That is the major criticism I have of this system and this coaching staff right now. You can't tell me that there's not another 15 to 20 offensive coordinators and coaches out there that couldn't take the talent of Jalen Reagor's abilities and have this kid doing more than what we're doing right now. To an extent, this falls on coaching.
That last part you said, I totally agree. I'm not going to go too far and say he'd be JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
That's a,
you know what I mean? That's like saying if JJ Arcega-Whiteside was over with Minnesota, he would look like Justin Jefferson. But what I can say is if you flip JJ Arcega, I mean, if you flip Justin Jefferson and Reagor, who knows what Reagor would be doing over there? The way that they're not using this kid properly is mind-boggling, and it's just not him. And yes, for this whole live, I'm not even going to bring up Carson at all. I'm going to talk about everybody else. Let's talk about everybody else. Let's talk about the fact that Greg Ward is fielding punts. Are you freaking kidding me? I like Greg Ward. I think Greg Ward has good hands. I think that you can use Greg Ward. Do you know that we could be a team that has 3 quarterbacks on a field at the same time and use them? Did you see Cole Beasley throw a touchdown last week? You know what I mean? Did you see how the Patriots used Wells Walker and Edelman and dudes like that? You know what I mean? Why can't we do these kind of things? Boston Scott. I think Boston Scott has a chance, had a chance to come into his own. I think after Miles Sanders got hurt, after the Giants game, the first Giants game, he was getting into a groove, but then you start feeding him the football. Same thing with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders and Boston Scott have been robbed. They need to call the police expeditiously. They have been robbed for 100-yard game for the last 5 weeks. It's ridiculous, man, when you look at it, man. Last week to only run the ball 13 times again, and then Doug answering just makes no sense to me, man. It makes no sense. You say, oh well, we was down, so what? And we was never down more than 2 possessions, and them 2 possessions wasn't 2 touchdowns. We was down a field goal and down 11 or 12, dude, and it's only the second quarter. Dude, run the freaking football. This game, if you needed to run a football in any game, it is this game. And it's for multiple reasons. First of all, Aaron Rodgers, we all know who he is. Even though he torched us last year, and Adams, oh my goodness, gave us the business. You know what I mean? Now, am I saying Darius Slay is going to be the X factor to stop him? No, but I think that you can slow him down. I don't think that he has no 200-yard game on us. Even though Metcalf got off. But when you look at it, where was Darius Slay every single time? He was right there. Yeah. It's just that Metcalf is a physical specimen. You know what I mean? And that's another thing we could talk about, Howard. But let's not go there. So when you look at it, man, I think you have to run the football. You got Howard back. Howard had 3 touchdowns against them guys. He knows how to play against them guys. He's been playing against them his whole career with the Bears. Played with them with us last year. And he gets to play them again. He played them every single year he's been in the NFL. So when you look at it, he knows how to play these guys. Had 3 touchdowns last year. Miles Sanders came to his own. I liked it. I think it was 22 personnel that they used. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. When Howard broke Miles Sanders for that, it was like a 60-yard touchdown. If I'm correct, I just need you to use your talent. You know what I mean? I understand people want to say that our wide receivers are not getting separation. To me, it's scheme. It's scheme because when you look at it, I see slow dudes all across the all across the NFL, getting separation. Like, and to me, a lot of it is not just separation. It's dudes just being run wide open because of scheme, because the defense don't know what the heck is going on. We don't have that kind of play calling. We don't have them kind of play looks. So when you look at it, man, this coaching staff has to do better to put they players in better predicament to win. What I would do is I would use either Graylin Arnold or Rhaegar to fill punts. I don't need to see Greg Ward again. I'm sorry, I just don't. Like, dude, you got to start in at the 10-yard line every single drive. It's getting bad. I love Boston Scott. Boston Scott, I don't need you fielding kickoffs no more. Dude, your decision making is bad also. You got to start at the 20-yard line every single time. And you get a free 25 if you just down it. So, man, when you look at it, man, and these might look like small things to people, but they are big. They are big in a situation. And let's talk about situational football real fast, and I'm going to get out your way. For you to start 1st and 5, throw. 3 throws. Why don't you come out and just run the football at least once? Try to get that first down. You know what I mean? Try to get some people in a rhythm. To me, man, when you get a first down, I know what it's like, especially when you're a running back. You get that first down, you like, yeah, let's get it. You don't feel like them dudes can't stop you, but you feel like, yeah, let's turn it up. And you didn't get them dudes the opportunity to do that. Now, I'm not saying that caused the game. Hell no. That's not what I'm saying. But not running the football did last week. I think that we would have beat and it's a stretch for me to say, but I think that we would have beat the Seahawks if you just run it 20, 25 times. Can you please run the ball 20, 25 times this week? Pretty please with your going time. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, real quick. I don't understand, man, why we don't run the ball. It's criminal the way we use our running backs. I mean, especially like if you watched the Green Bay Packers game last year, you took 2 things away. Somehow we were able to get a W with Aaron Rodgers throwing for like 400 plus. Hopefully we don't allow that, because even though I think it's a little, I don't know what the word is, our pass defense ain't as good as what it shows. We're probably a top 10 pass defense. I think we allow only like 200 some yards, but I think it was covered up by some of the teams we played, how the games went, but it is what it is. Our defense is better this year than it was last year, and we ran the ball. Whether it be with Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, it was really Jordan Howard who did the most damage. But at the end of the day, we put the ball in the running back's belly, pause, whatever you want to say, multiple times. We just don't know how to do that this year, and it's criminal. It would be one thing if Miles Sanders was averaging like 3.2, 3 point something. If he was having a bad yards per carry, you could use that. And even if you can't run the ball, I still believe you have to do it just to keep the defense honest. If you listen, Seattle came into the game like this, just let's go over it. We ran the ball 9 times. If there was a total of 65 snaps, just say I'm guessing, we played 65 snaps and ran the ball 9 times. As a defensive lineman, after the first quarter, I'm saying to myself, I'm not even guarding. I'm not even playing the run. I'm just going at number 11. And if they run the ball and they get 8 yards, they're going to do it only a couple times. So who cares? Just play the pass. And that's why we're sacked 46 times. It's a multitude of reasons, whether it be Carson holding the ball a little too long, offensive line just being horrible, and also just the fact that what defensive end is not going to get up the field and pin their ears back because they know we're going to pass the ball. It's just the sad truth. Somebody said in here, if we didn't run the ball in a hurricane, I mean, I don't know what's going to make us run the ball. We didn't run the ball against Cleveland the way we should have. It was working. And it's just a trickle-down effect. We stink. It's horrible. And I'm going to get revved back up for this game. When I turn the game on and I'm doing my play-by-play, I'm going to be feeling really good until the sad reality comes out. And I'm like, dang, why do I do this to myself? But go ahead, Gate.
I mean, there's a lot that bothers me on the topic of running the football. To begin with, I'm running film. I'm getting videos lined up for like the next 10 days and stuff just to break down things I'm seeing. And you know what I saw a lot of on the right side of the offensive line? Man, 2 guys getting beat back there every single snap. It was ridiculous. Matt Pryor should not be playing right tackle. And you guys know I was a person that liked Matt Pryor at right guard, not right tackle. Like, the one play, I had someone comment on one of my videos and they were like, Gate, but why didn't you break down the Alshon Jeffrey miss? He didn't even look Jeffrey's way. Yeah, he did. That was the first read on that play. He couldn't get the pass off because Pryor got beat on the inside and a hand came across Carson's face. So he immediately drops his eyes and rolls because there's nowhere to go. There's nothing he can do in that situation. That's what bothers me about the whole conversation about running the ball, the way our play calling's been. When you cannot block, man, the easiest thing to do is to take some of the pressure off that passing game by running the ball. Hey, we got big dudes. We got Pryor out there. We got JP. We got Mulata. We got 3 dudes that are legitimately like 340. Go push them. Push them off the line of scrimmage. Like, it just... It's frustrating to watch that every single week in and out. And I'll bring in another topic of conversation here, guys. Play calling. Doug said he's going to relinquish some of the play calling even more.
To press.
But it's going to be to press Taylor. So let me ask you a question. Now Press Taylor's handling internal communication to Doug. He's the passing game coordinator, so he's helping design plays. Now he's going to have responsibilities as a play caller. When the hell does he coach Carson Wentz?
Hey,
That's the only thing I don't hear.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Wait, but what's the difference? He hasn't been coaching them at all this year either. So you know what I mean? Like,
but that's what I'm saying, Mike. Dude, has the philosophy been just let Carson do Carson with no coaching? Because if that's the philosophy, man, it's flawed. Like, it's really flawed because his mechanics are really bad.
Yep.
And that stuff, like, if you listen to every analyst, it's not just me, guys. Everybody who's ever played the position, they all tell you what's going on with Carson is completely fixable. And yet, week in and week out, we're seeing it ain't fixed. Like,
and here's what I can say about this, and this is why it starts at the higher up for me. Because when you talk about it, and I talked about this many times, and every time I talk about it, it looks like it comes to fruition. When you look at it, nobody is here from Doug's regime except for Press Taylor. He has really, if you want to talk about, I don't know, but what it seems like, he doesn't get to pick his draft. He doesn't get to pick who works under him. He really doesn't get to pick anything. So if I got this little bit of power, which is play calling, and I got this one guy who is my guy, who am I going to go to? And that starts at the top of the organization with me. Because why don't you have trust in Doug for him to pick his own personnel, for him to come out and say Mike Grove is going to be back? Which I think Mike Grove should have just stayed at wide receiver coach, because when you look at it, that was the best that our wide receivers really looked in 2017. But that's neither here nor there. So when you look at it, and he says that Mike Grove's coming back, and then 12 hours later, step into my office. Why? Because you're fired. You know what I mean? So when you look at these things, though, and in all seriousness, when you look at these things, right? Doug Peterson is trying to hold on to his only situation that he has control of, which is Press Taylor, and which is play calling, and it might be the thing, the straw that breaks the camel back. But I do get it. I understand it. In Doug's defense, I understand it, that you're under an organization that you're a Super Bowl winning coach, and they still don't trust you to pick your own personnel. They still don't trust you to pick your own players. I don't know that. But I do know that they don't trust him to pick his own personnel. because they go out there. Howie Roseman goes out there. Jeffrey Lurie goes out there, and they pick all these guys that Doug don't know from a can of paint, probably. Even though they are coaches, I don't know these dudes. You know what I mean? So why am I going to trust them with my offense, which isn't working? We know that, but still, he still got in his mind like, why? No, like y'all trying to come in here and change my offense. This is my offense. You know what I mean? And it might be it might be the doom of us when you look at it, but it does start from the top, man. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, yeah, I agree. I think just when you look at this football team, you really can't pick anything that we're doing good from the top to bottom, from certain positions. Like I said, our special teams, no. Receivers, no. Quarterback, no. O-line, no. Personnel, coaching staff, no. Howie Roseman, no. We've made bad decisions, and I can't really look at any type of bright spots, and that's what has me most concerned. And shout out to Gate City. We both made videos last year talking about Press Taylor shouldn't be the quarterback coach, and somehow he got to step into his office and not get fired. He got a raise. You know what I mean? He's a passing game coordinator, and he continues to get stuff. We just undermined Deuce Staley, who's supposed to be the assistant. Like, he has a title next to Doug that would make him, you would think, number 2, but he's like number 10. I mean, Jeff Stoutland got more say. Everybody got more say than him. It's just
hey, Mike, you ever see The Office?
A little bit.
All right, so Dwight Schrute, right? He wanted to be the assistant to the regional manager. But his boss named, instead of naming him assistant regional manager, he is the assistant to the regional manager. Now it like when you look, and it's so funny because they talk about that all the time. Be like, I'm assistant manager. They be like, no, you're assistant to the regional manager. I mean, it's the same thing, but it's not. And I kind of think that's what they did with Deuce. It's like, we're not going to make you offensive coordinator. We're going to make you assistant to offensive coordinator, basically. Like, it's like come on, man. And it's crazy because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If I'm Deuce, I'm gone. I've been here longer than everybody. My when you look at it, other than Jeff Stoutland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than Jeff Stoutland, his group, meaning the running backs, has been the best on this team. It hasn't been the wide receivers. It hasn't really been a quarterback. It hasn't been It hasn't been defense. You know what I mean? Definitely hasn't been linebacker. You want to say defensive line? All right, cool. We can debate about that. But when you talk about from the Ryan Matthews, you know what I mean, to the Sproles, to the Miles Sanders, to the Ajayis, to the LeGarrette Blunts, and shout out to LeGarrette Blunt for retiring, man. This dude, and I understand why they ain't bringing back, but this dude loved Philly. Even his talking about retiring, he just talked about being in Philly that year, man. He loved it so much. So shout out to LeGarrette Blunt real fast. But when you look at it, man, this dude has been producing. He has been producing. Now they're getting held back because they're not running the football. But when you look at it, they have been producing, and for him to been here, what, Andy Reid days? Been here since Andy Reid days. Went through the Chip Kelly regime. Now in another regime, and you still you still a running back coach. So that's all you really are. You know what I mean? If I'm Deuce, I'm out.
Yeah, but here's what I don't get about the play calling. You got a guy who was an OC. He was an offensive coordinator. He's got experience calling plays. You know this kid can implement movement offenses, right? He came underneath the Shanahan coaching tree. You got him in the building. And that's not who you turn to. You're saying, well, he runs our 2-minute offense. Cool. You got another guy the biggest criticism against you has been, hey, man, you're just not really, like, when you set up the run, it's just so obvious. You're not picking, your right poison on when to implement the run. You got a guy that, hey, man, you look at what he's done as a position coach. He's been pretty good. He's your assistant or assistant to, as Reese was pointing out, the head coach. Like, why isn't he getting any kind of responsibility in this? Like, why are you taking guys that already have a million tasks on them and then saying, okay, let's add one more. Like
I just told you why.
I don't get it, man.
Shouldn't
it be all hands on deck? Shouldn't it be all hands on deck with Carson Wentz? Let the other guys who kind of got their stuff going work on the other stuff. Give Strandrello, give Deuce some opinion over the play calling, some chances to call plays, and then maybe Doug to save his job, maybe Press to save his job. Start working with the guy that they got $100 million betting on. Like, it makes no sense to me, man. Like, I'm watching this stuff on film, guys, and it's just really basic, fundamental stuff. Like, I know a lot of people like, oh, a fifth-year quarterback shouldn't do this. I hate to tell you this, guys. Name a quarterback. Look at their fifth year. They did it. It happens. It happens to every freaking quarterback. But those guys have been able to fix it. They've been able to fix it. We haven't. We're hearing excuses like, oh, some quarterback coaches don't want to make adjustments in the middle of the season. When you're 3-7-1, guess what it's time to do? It's time to look at those mechanics and start fixing them in practice. Like, I don't get it, guys. Like, I don't want Doug to be fired, but at the same time, I can't see how you keep going forward. It's putting us in this really weird situation.
Yeah. Go ahead, Fresh.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because I don't want him going either. And it's not even the fact of he won a Super Bowl and all that. And I understand that's why a lot of people and that's really why we're in trouble when you look at it, man. Keep holding on to these guys just because we won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And it's really backfiring on us. Holding on to Jason Peters, keep bringing him back. Yo, this dude is just bad. He should not be playing this week. He shouldn't. Like, you've been that bad, man. Like, it don't matter if they put you at guard. It don't matter if they put you at tackle. It don't matter if they put you at quarterback. It don't matter. This dude is not good, man. Like, and what I can say is, it's him, but it's Father Time. It's just you're done. It comes a time in a man's life when he got to hang up his cleats, and that time was 4 weeks ago. When you got injured, you should have took the money and ran. Take the bag and run. You know what I mean? Because, dude, you're bad. I'm sorry. You're like you are really, really bad, man. And it's a couple other dudes that we held on to too long. A la Sproles, love Sproles, but held on to him too long. You know what I mean? Like, it's the commitment to these older dudes, and it's going to have to come a point of time that if Howie is still here, I don't think Jeffrey Lurie getting rid of him. I don't. So it has to come a time when you say, you know what, it's time to start drafting players instead of trying to draft a quarterback in the second round. It's time to start drafting Lane Johnson's replacement if what you call it not it. You know what I mean? And I think he is just what I'm talking about. I think just so my thing is, man, it's time to start planning for the future instead of, because we're as much as I hate to say this, we're a rebuilding team right now. I didn't say that coming into the situation because I felt as though we had guys in place, older guys and younger guys. I liked it the draft, other than Jalen Hurts. I liked it the fact. When you look at it, Deshaun Jackson. You know what I mean? And who knows what we're going to do with Brandon Brooks. I would like Brandon Brooks to come back, but how long are you going to keep bringing these guys back? Alshon Jeffrey should have never got that freaking extension. He should have never got that extension and to put the money back like how we did, who everybody says he's a wizard with the cap. What cap? Not what this one? Because it sure ain't the NFL cap when you look at it, because we ain't cap hell. Now, a couple players that I feel as though you can get rid of, or try to trade or whatever the case may be. I don't think Malik Jackson and Hargrave is going to be here next year. I think one of them is gone. So that's $10 million off the cap. Alshon gone. That's like $18 million off the cap. Who knows what they're going to do with Lane Johnson or Brooks, like I said. It's a couple other dudes that, you know, that you can get rid of and get rid of the money. But it's also it's also go ahead.
What are you gonna do with Brandon Graham now? It's just crazy because he's having his best season of his career. He is older, and and he's due a lot of money. And it's like he's actually playing deserving of this money we got to give him. But with the problems where we have, what do you think we're gonna do with Brandon Graham?
I think he's back. What I would do is I'll say, listen, man, I understand you. I mean, it's not a bold predicament to say, but he's going. It looked like he's going to the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Mills is going, but Mills is only on a 1-year contract. I'm talking about guys that's going into the contract next year. You know what I mean? I think Mills is going.
Charles, I think they're gonna bring Mills back, bro.
I don't for what? For what? Yo, did you see? Did you see?
I'm not saying I would, but
right. But that's what I'm saying. Loyalty by fault, man. It's loyalty by fault, man. And it's like if you was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles and you won a Super Bowl, we're going to bring you back every single time. Vinny Curry, why is he back? What is he doing? You know what I mean, man? When you look at it, man, like we gotta stop it. We gotta stop it, man. But it's 4:00. I told the guys, and we discussed this. We ain't gonna try to go past 4:15. So we got more to talk about. So go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, we want to start doing our players of the game, offense and defense, score prediction. Even though I think we all know it's going to be tough to get a win, but I'm pretty much going to say if we do win, this is how I'm going to do my score prediction now. It's not going to be it's going to be like if we would win, this is how, I guess. But if you want to, because look, I mean, like you said, I'm not going to pick against the Eagles.
I'd rather you go back to what you was doing before and just not pick. Just not pick. So,
just keep my mouth. Plead the fifth. I'll plead the fifth. But
I'm cool with that one.
All right. So go ahead. Give me your offense player of the game, defensive player of the game, and go ahead and give me your score prediction.
Offense, man, offense. I'm gonna go with Jordan Howard. For all the reasons that I said earlier, if y'all wasn't here, he played the Packers every single year that he's been here, been in the league twice for 4 years, and also played them last year with us, had 3 touchdowns, and he's about to play them again. I think he has a knack for playing them, and we'll see, man. Hopefully he can be that driving force if he's given a football. My defensive player, and the reason that I'm going with this is because shout out to Brandon Graham, man. We just talked about him, but he ties Trent Cole for the most defensive end to play games for the Philadelphia Eagles today. So when he suits up and when he plays that first snap, he would tie he would be tied with Trent Cole. So shout out to him for that, man. I mean, we all know he's been here a long time, so he should that should be the guy. But when you look at it, he has been a force. Like when you look at it, if we was winning, he would get a lot of recognition in the media. You know what I mean? Like this dude has really been a force. All type of tackles for loss, 8 sacks, just been on a tear, and he talks that ish. I don't know if y'all heard his mic up. He don't stop talking. Like this dude talks that ish. I love it. I love the energy that he brings. I think that the defensive line, especially young guys like a Barnett, like a Josh Sweat, I think they follow this guy. They follow his energy, and you know what I mean. And it don't matter who makes a play. He's the first over there congratulating them. You know what I mean? And shout out to him for that. But I think I think that he gives Aaron Rodgers some fits. Go ahead, Joe.
I agree. Go ahead, Gate.
Oh, score prediction. I got us. My bad, y'all. I got us 17-21 Eagles.
Okay. We're going players of the game. We'll start defense then. I'm gonna say Darius Slay, man. Darius Slay seems like he seems authentic and genuine when he says that he's disappointed in his performance from the week before. I think he's gonna come out. I think he's gonna come out and really want to shut things down. And I think he's got the talent. I think has it been a disappointment? Sure, I'm sure he anticipated much better stat lines for himself this year. Mm-hmm. But he's definitely been one of the more consistent players we've had this season. So I definitely think defensively, I think, he could be having a big game this game. Offensively, man, as I look at this, man, if we're throwing the ball, we're in trouble. I can't see us winning this game by throwing the ball 40 times. I just can't. It's got to be 35 or less. So, I mean, look,
I don't even want it. I don't even want it 30. I don't want it in the 30s. It don't need to be in the 30s.
Like, they showed a willingness to go 13-man last week against Seattle, right? But Caleb Wilson, there was one play where Caleb Wilson got Miles Sanders cracked in the backfield because my man didn't just miss his block. Like, it looked like he fell asleep on the play. It was ridiculous. Ertz is not exactly the world's greatest run blocker, but he's better than Caleb Wilson. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if Ertz is active for this game, and I believe he is, I could see the Eagles trying to get more physical with Goddard. Richard Rodgers and Goddard, I feel like definitely add an element of physicality to the game. You got Howard back there. Howard can deliver a message. Howard is also, and this is what I think people are sleeping on about Howard's ability, Howard will punish a linebacker coming through the hole. He don't care. He will decleat you even if he's pass blocking. So,
and that make people want to make professional decisions on whether to go get this guy or not, man, or whether should I wait until somebody else get him or shoestring tackle or all that kind of stuff. Why do you're right? My bad, y'all. I was about to go.
No, you good. I'm gonna say Miles Sanders offensively. Miles Sanders offensively. I'm gonna say 17-14 Eagles because if this game gets into the 20s, I think it's a lot harder for us to win it.
Yeah. You say you did both. You did your offense too, right? You just got done doing that.
Yeah, I said Miles Sanders.
So you're gonna do your score prediction?
Yeah, 17. I said 17-14 Philly, just because I feel like if this game gets into the 20s, if it gets into the 30s, we're really in trouble. But I just think that the higher the score goes, the more it favors Green Bay.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Tone DeShields second with the $1.99 super chat. What's good, fellas? Keep up that energy. You already know. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. He does Eagles content as well. Cool dude. But I'm just gonna go with a bounce back performance from Darius Slay. He knows Devontae Adams. He's played him twice a year with the Lions for multiple years. Hopefully he's not going to shut him down, but just keep him under 100. Hopefully he stays out of the end zone. They're going to throw his way a bunch of times. He always gets targeted like 10 or 11 times. So just slow down Devontae Adams. I got Darius Slay as my defensive player of the game if we win. And on the offense,
you gonna take A City one?
Oh, he said, yeah, he did say Darius Slay.
Yo, man, I'm glad you ain't listening to us, man.
No,
you got something in the oven you gotta go get real fast.
Actually, I've been trying to do my thumbnail for my play-by-play because I'm totally late. So that's all right. So I'm gonna go off. Everybody wants to get rid of Jalen Mills. He has I'm gonna pick Jalen Mills. He's not good. He's probably not gonna be here, even though Gate City keeps saying we might just bring him back because that's what the Eagles GM does. On the offense side of the ball, I know he said Miles Sanders. I was listening to that. And that's who my giveaway was, Miles Sanders. So shout out to everybody who entered. We'll see. People legitimately said he's going to have 20-some yards. People said that went as low as 20-some yards.
And it's crazy. I've read your comments. I got to say, that's my free giveaway too. But I got him combined with receiving and it was people still saying like 30 yards, 25. They don't run the ball fresh. This. And I'm like, oh man, I don't think y'all gonna win with that one. But if they do, hey man, you already know. I hope not.
Exactly. I'm gonna be upset if he's like 27 rushing yards. It's gonna be disgusting. I'm not gonna even be able to talk about it no more about running the ball anymore. But on the offense side of the ball, hopefully Zach Ertz comes back and gives us a spark. I don't know how much he'll play, but I just want to see Zach Ertz maybe give some extra confidence to Carson Wentz, even though he didn't play good with Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz didn't play good when he was playing early in the season, fighting that contract demon. But it is what it is. So hopefully Zach Ertz gives us a much needed spark on offense. And I agree with Gate City. I don't see the Eagles scoring north of 23. So the only way we win is if we keep it low. And it's going to be hard because Aaron Rodgers is, he's in that top 5 MVP candidate category. So I can see our defense kind of getting shredded. So I'm going to do a score prediction. I'm going to say 23-20 Philly. I'll just say that.
No confidence at all. Your head shaking. Hey, bring up B more last comment, yo. Be more Philly.
There it is, the punter.
Come on, man.
Hey, yo, he been the most consistent players for us all year, though. When you really look at it, like,
yo, we might break the record for the most punts in the game. You never know.
Yeah, about that. I don't even know what the record is. But hey, listen, man. Shout out to all of y'all coming on, man. Post game, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, man. Appreciate everybody coming on, man. I gotta let Mike take us home, man. That's what he do, man. Take us home.
All right, man. Like I said, so this hasn't been one of our more optimistic pre-games, but at the end of the day, any given Sunday, we've seen bad teams beat good teams, and that's what we're gonna need right now. We're a bad team. Gotta look ourselves in the mirror. But any given Sunday, let's get this W. We'll see you guys in the post game. You guys know what time it is.
Stay Philly, stay fresh.
Go ahead, Gate.
Peace, y'all.
We out.
Yo.